everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a little while between updates, so where do I start? I think the last video I was about halfway through grinding back the underbody of the car, so that I did finish doing that and finished priming the whole underside of the body. I think I mentioned from there it was going to go straight to the paint shop and be stripped and all of that, so that didn't happen. Things change, and basically I took on some other jobs to try and build up some more money to go towards finishing the car. So upon doing that, one of the jobs that I did, it was for a race team, like a speed record on the Salt Lakes, a VP Turbo LS. Really cool car. I'll chuck up a few photos of that so you guys can see what I did there. It was just a full wire up, so front to back with a Howtech and all of that. So that was a really cool job to do. Upon meeting those guys, it turned out one of them was a retired panel beater, and he sort of offered if I was interested to do the rust repairs on the car for me. So that's the path we went down. I finished off their car and they had a deadline that it needed to be done by, and we sort of got that done for them. So I did that. I've done a few others since as well, and the last probably 2 months or maybe touching 3, the car's been down at a workshop and he's been doing all the rust repairs. So I haven't had any footage. I've got had a heap of photos sent through, so I'll chuck some of them up. And yeah, basically the more we looked, the more we found, and what we had found was 100 times worse than what we originally thought. So you kind of always think that with rust, but some of the stuff I found that was just tiny little holes that I had to sort of pick at, and I thought that would be it. Turns out when you picked at them a bit more, they got a hell of a lot bigger. So today I'm actually on my way to pick up the car. They've finished with it, so pretty exciting. I'm currently in Charlie's Ram. He's been kind enough to lend me his Ram, since I don't have my Ranger anymore, so I don't really have anything I can tow with. And he's had Mick's trailer, who I work with, at his shed, so I've chucked Mick's trailer on and we're heading down. Only thing I'm a little concerned about is the car being on the dollies. It obviously brings the wheel track right in, and this trailer does have a gap in the middle, like 90% of them do. So I've measured up and I think we might just be okay, but I guess we'll find out when we get there. So yeah, plenty of, it's been a while between updates, and yeah, I really was hoping to have the car sort of painted by now, but it's not the way things go, and I want the car to be right. So I'm really happy with the work that has been completed with the rust repairs, and all the panels and everything that we used were made by hand, which is just crazy. So he's spent a lot of time, and yeah, really looked after me on the price side of things as well, so we traded off a bit of labour with the job I did for them, but yeah, we came to an agreement. So I'm about 15 minutes out from there, so we'll see you guys again when we get there. Cheers. See back there. Now, I didn't get the camera out at the shop. We were super busy. They had people everywhere, and also we had to get a little bit creative to get the car up onto the trailer. The hole in the middle of the trailer was too wide for the wheels, so we've got a bit of C-channel and we've made it work. So I'm heading back to Charlie's shed. That's where the car will be staying for the next few days until it goes to the painters, and they're only around the corner. So once we get back to Charlie's, I'll get it in the shed and we'll go over everything that's been done and show you guys exactly what's been repaired and what's left to do on the car. So see you soon. Cheers. Alright guys, here we are at Charlie's shed. The car is still on the trailer, as you can see, but I've unloaded it from the car. And this is where it's going to live for the next couple of days probably, so I'm hoping Tuesday it will go to the painters, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, it should be here for a few days, maybe a week. But yeah, so here it is. A lot of work has been done over the last few months. We'll start with the most obvious and what was the biggest two issues with the car, this rear quarter. So this whole section here, from underneath all the way up, just you can see where it's been joint just above that style line, and around the back there, that was all made by hand. So Mick is the guy who did all the work for me. He's used a press. Pressed that all up, and yeah, it's come out amazing. This top section of the guard here, you can see isn't perfect. There's still a little bit of ripples and stuff here, but he's got that, he's metal finished that and got that as straight as he possibly can. That was horrendous before. You know, there's sections in here where there was half an inch of bog and it was just horrible. So I'm stoked with that. Also, the inner had rusted out. You can see there, he's handmade all those panels there and welded them in as well. So he's done an amazing job there. So moving forward from there was this sill panel. I'd had this replaced, but yeah, it sort of was average. You can see all the capping here done. Also, we open up the door. You can see the inner sill panel was fully, or the inner part of the sill was fully rusted away. That's all been replaced and all plug welded along the top there. Also, just there was a rust patch there, which has been done. So yeah, this sill panel, it had been replaced, but if you remember watching the previous videos, it's a bit hard to see with this guard on, but this front section here, this was all rusted out, and all the inner behind this at the front here was all rusted out. So that's all been done. All behind here, that's been all handmade. So it's the same with this sill panel here. He bent this up. It was a flat piece of steel, and he's used a press or a bend or whatever they use and bent that all up. So that's come out amazing as well. Another little spot in the B pillar here. There was some issues here, rust holes. I think that sort of similar spot to where that was on the back side there. You can see the seal all through there. Also just here in the door, you can see someone's hacked speaker holes previously, but there was a big rust hole in this section that sort of went underneath. So that's all been done. Looks a little bit shitty there, but that's just a factory hole. I've just got to re-drill that out. So yeah, the doors are not perfect because, you know, you see that side the same. Someone's done speaker holes, but you know, I'll just go around and clean that up just so it doesn't get any worse, and I'll put something over it. So that's that sorted. So just looking, you know, that rear quarter is just, I can't get over that. It's a huge improvement from what it was, and very happy with the work that's been done. So there's that, the sill panel, those two sections I've shown. Go around to this side of the car. There was a little section just down there that was a bit crappy, so that's been done. If you remember, there was a hole underneath this, that's been done. All around the window channel was just bits of old rust that hadn't been repaired. So that's all been done, and we just made that a front window would actually fit. So that's all sorted. I had this panel replaced previously. They didn't have to do anything with that. That was all good. Just a bit around the corners here that was not 100%. So there was that. The rust in the floor section there, which you remember showing. Also a little bit in the chassis rail there, that's been touched up, or cut out and patched. Now also this sill panel at the front here, if you recall, just behind here I found a few speckly bits that I sort of dug out and thought that that was as bad as it was. Well, it turns out it was a lot worse. So that's, you can see there, that whole inner, that whole outer part of the sill was done, and the inner, the same as the other side, was completely rusted away. So that all the inner was replaced, and then the section behind here, and then out into this part of the sill. You can see where he's gone through here. Again, all handmade, so no rust whatsoever now in those seals. What else did we have done? There was a section along the back here which wasn't great, so that's been rectified. Also was you can see it's still not, a bit of a low spot there, but that was sort of caved right in. I didn't even notice, so a bit of filler over that and we should be all right. Now coming into the boot, you can see that inside now is just night and day difference. That was all ripply and horrible before, so there's that. There was also some rust in the boot here that's been cut out and done. Now what we'll do is jump in here. I can get this open. Got another boot lid there. All the webbing underneath is intact on this one, whereas mine has started to come away. So we'll decide which one we're going to use. It's a pretty straight boot that's in there. And then it brings us to the parcel shelf. Now this does have speaker holes cut. This is out of another vehicle though, so if you remember seeing along the bottom channel there, mine was all rusted out the whole way along. So this got some surface rust, but you know, that's nothing to worry about. You can see where it's been replaced. All the factory welds were drilled out and then have been plugged again in the factory spot. So try to make it as tidy as possible. So the whole parcel shelf was replaced from another vehicle. He's done with that. And then we'll have a look at the outside here. This was a new Rare Spares panel that I got, and he's sort of used the majority of that by the looks of it on that other parcel shelf. And then we've put a same thing with the rear window, had all bits along underneath the rubber here that were all crappy, so that's all been done, checked all around it, and now we have a rear window that fits. And you can see that this here is a lot nicer than before. The panel that was here was a Rare Spares panel, but they've changed the design, I believe, because this was not really even flat. It was just, it didn't look anything like the original. So really happy. We know we've got two windows that fit, and pretty much everything rust wise is sorted. So I mean, everything still needs to be finished, and you know, there's going to be a lot of skims of bog and stuff, but overall I'm stoked with the work that's been done. It's awesome. So the other big change, which was one of those things, we were going to do it then we weren't, was the notching of the firewall. So as you can see, we decided to do it. I had a chat with Mick about it, and he was more than happy to take on the job. So I got him to patch up that hole that we had cut out for the dump pipe, and then I got him to scallop the firewall. So you can see there some previous, that's where I've had plates welded in from behind, and we'd put some bog over that. So just because he's cut into sort of that area, that's why that's exposed. But one of my big things was to sort of not notch the chassis at all. So if you have a look down here, we can see that the chassis hasn't been touched, and same as it rolls down to underneath there, the chassis itself has not been touched. But that is just amazing. So the clearance that I'm going to have there for the dump pipe now, it's quite hard to sort of get the right angle on the camera. I know I've taken a few photos and they don't really do it justice, but just trying to have a look there at the clearance that it's going to be is awesome. So Trav will be doing a full exhaust again for me, whereas it was just going to be sort of from the transmission area where the dump pipe had finished back before. But oh well, so that's where we're at with the car. Like I said, I'm stoked and just really happy that it's finally taking place. It is a bit behind schedule of what we originally would have liked, but these things happen, and you know, I'm glad that the car went to Mick, because I know, you know, just by looking at what's been done, it's amazing work. So I wasn't sure who was going to actually do the rust repairs before. The painter would have just, you know, sort of subletted that out to someone else anyway. I think he's got a guy that he uses, and no doubt he does amazing work as well. But I'm stoked with the way the car's turned out. So yeah guys, as soon as this goes to the panel shop, the rest of the car will be stripped to bare metal. If we find any other hidden little surprises, Mick said he's more than happy to come on down and fix them up for us, so hopefully we don't, but it's nice to know that if we do, he's on board. And yeah, as soon as it's there, the guys are going to get stuck into stripping it and doing all the prep, and then we need to decide on color. So because I've stripped it, and I am going back to bare metal, I thought, hey, there's no real reason to stay silver. It's not as if the car is, you know, a genuine original restoration or anything like that. I mean, it is a genuine SLE V8 car, but with the Turbo LS and the 9-inch and, you know, the split tubs and everything, it's far from original. So yeah, we're toying up a few ideas. May stay single tone, may go two-tone. We've got a few colors in mind, and we've got a few samples that we're going to mix up. So as soon as we've got that happening, I'll get some footage, and we'll get another video out for you guys. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around if you are watching this. Please leave a comment. I'm more than happy to, you know, chat with you guys. I enjoy any sort of feedback or any ideas on what I should do maybe. If you're interested, or if it's not too much effort, subscribe to the channel. You know, I'm really wanting to grow the channel. I know the content hasn't been there as much, but it would be awesome to grow the channel and just get it more out there. So thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.